The Joe Rogan Experience.
We don't do
So
something.
your grandmother had your father when she was 15 years old?
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah. Back in the early days of World War II, she apparently was playing around with her boyfriend. She claims to be a virgin but at that point,
Whoops.
but something got somewhere that shouldn't have. And
She got
so he was
pregnant.
during high school. Right. So I was raised by my grandmother. She was in her 40s when I was a kid. And she was the one that taught me to always stay young, keep your, adults ruin everything. That's probably why I work on aging.
Adults ruin everything. What was her advice, like in terms of like how do you avoid what adults are doing wrong?
Well, she'd grown up during the Depression and then World War II, and then the communists came into Hungary and raped a lot of people. She had no had no respect for humanity. So by the time I came along, first of all, she put all of her energy into me, and I was a spoilt brat as a kid, so that wasn't helpful to me. I think now as an adult, but more importantly, she wanted me to do the best I could with my life. She said, "David, do what you can to make this world a better place. Make sure that you leave this place better than you found it," and that's what I'm trying to do.
Wow, what a profound piece of advice for a grandchild.
She was a rebel. She taught me, forget the rules, all right? Kind of like you do. I'm going my own way, and we'll see how this goes. So she went to Australia. She said, fuck Europe, I'm out of here. She went to Australia, the furthest place she could find from Europe, never went back. She went on Bondi Beach in Sydney in a bikini, which was rebellious. And she got taken off the beach by the police.
What'd you have to wear back then?
Oh, the full little British thing.
Down
to your knees.
Down to your knees?
I think so.
What did they look like?
Maybe it was a one piece, but
you weren't allowed to show your belly.
That's what I think. But she was a rebel. She went to New Guinea by herself in the 60s.
What year was this where she was wearing a bikini?
That would be 56.
You couldn't wear a bikini in the 50s? Wow. Wow. Okay, like those pinup girls, right? When you see them, they always had one-piece suits on. Yeah.
So imagine New Guinea in the 60s as a woman on her own, up in the highlands. She claims to have eaten human flesh, and I'm sure she spent most of the time drunk as well.
Did you see that article that was yesterday where they were interviewing an Australian, a guy who's a doctor or a scientist who was talking about climate change, and he was saying that we have to start eating human bodies, and that human bodies are very nutritious, and that we just put them in the ground. And I was reading it, and I was like, okay, is this guy trolling? Like, what is he doing here? Is he a completely insane person? But his advice was our dependence on meat is ruining, like in some places where they're stripping the rainforest to make room for cattle grazing. He was saying that we're getting rid of perfectly good meat every time we put someone in the ground.
Well, we are, but to suggest that sounds insane to me.
Yeah.
Because we throw away half our food anyway, at least in this country.
It was a mainstream publication that this guy was talking about. It's like, the last thing you want to encourage is people getting used to eating people.
I think he's been watching World War Z.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
it was just one of those
things.
It is
meat,
like,
but come on.
I was going, is this guy just trying to get attention? Like, this seems like such a, or is it, was he joking? It's hard to tell in text,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Did you see that,
Not
Jamie?
every Australian is sensible.
I found the article, but I don't see anything about him saying wasting human bodies or meat.
There's been more than several articles written on it. Maybe somebody extrapolated. But the idea was, he was saying that people should eat meat. And if they want to eat meat, they should eat human meat because it's
maybe
going
he's
to waste.
an animal rights activist.
Might be just an idiot.
Eat your relatives, yeah.
Yeah, but just the last thing you want is people getting the taste of people,
Right. No, I do not need to go that far. Not yet.